Welcome to another Ask GMBN, where we're going to be tackling your very tough questions that you put in the comment section down below this video that we'll answer next week. But let's deal with the ones you've put there already. Neil, what are you looking forward to? What sort of question could come up that you're like anticipating?
I had to Google a few of them this week, Martin.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's a few toughies.
Nice. Oh, okay.
First one actually came in from Daniel Silver. It says, since the Cape Epic is a marathon-like race, why is Nino using the UCI World Champs jersey and not Avancini?
Oh!
Do you know the answer?
I think it's probably because he's Nino Schurter. He can do whatever the hell he likes. So he's like, what? I'm interviewing him soon, by the way.
Nice.
But anyway, come to that on the Dirt Shed show.
So one of his big rivals, Avancini, is the marathon world champ. Who's wearing his normal trade jersey. And that is because this is a stage horse class.
Ah, see.
It's a cross-country stage race.
Right.
So it is actually not a marathon.
It's not a marathon, that's the key point.
Therefore, Nino wears his jersey.
Yeah, well, at least there's a good reason other than just blindly being Nino Schurter. That's good news.
Winning everything.
That's good. Another question here from Tano says, how to convince your parents you need a new bike?
I would say, how do you convince your parents you deserve a new bike? Would be the more pertinent question.
You're such a dad. You're such a dad. It's a great question though, because oh man, what did I do when I was young? I think I started building a bit of a story around why a rally super tough burner would change not only my life, but their lives for the better. I think that's what I done. Think about all the positive things you get from a bike. Health and fitness, positive mental health, fresh air.
Well, what I did was I had a really crap bike and I was racing. I was starting to do okay and my bike was falling apart every week. So I convinced my parents to lend me the money and I'll pay them back.
In winnings?
No. But once you've got the money, you then... I didn't actually pay
Change
back.
the deal, yeah. Change the deal. You sound like Theresa May.
Politics.
That's a good idea. It's a great question. We could probably do a whole show about that, and maybe we'll. Go on, what you got next, Neil?
Sam Matzenbacher. This is one for Blake, actually. He says, hey, Blake, I just realised that Bath is over 3 hours car ride away from the Isle of Wight, where he lives. Do you drive that every day?
Well, yes, okay, so if you're not familiar, in the UK, the Isle of Wight is a little island just below the sort of mainland of England. Blake lives there with his wife, Jenna. I don't know. It's actually nice where he lives. I'm not saying anything bad about the Isle of Wight. I like it. So he has to get a ferry across, and then he has to drive all the way up to Bath, which is up on a sort of the M4 corridor, but between London and Wales. This geography is crazy. But basically, it's a long old trip. He does it twice a week. He comes in, he stays in Bath at the GMBN headquarters. Yeah. So, yeah.
Stays in his tent on top of his car for 3 days and he goes home.
Yeah, but I tell you what, it's not about... I do something slightly similar and it's not a bad life coming and staying in Bath for a few days because it is a lovely place.
It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site,
It's gorgeous. It's very gorgeous, yeah. And you live here now.
I do.
Yeah, you rock star. You total rock star. Right, next question is from Chris Williams. What model are the khaki Northwave SPD shoes Blake's been using recently? Can't find the same model on their site. Neil, do you know?
I do. They're not SPD shoes. These are flat shoes. I think these are the ones you'll go for because they're the ones he's been wearing a lot recently. The Northwave Tribes, the brand new flat shoes. Yeah. So they've got the Tribes and the Clans. Two new models. Blake loves them. They stink. He wears them all the time. Yeah,
I've got the Clans actually in black, and they're very nice. They're very nice. Yeah, I've not got them today, have I? No, they're very nice shoes. Right, Simbob says, I recently had what I call an almost crash. And any confidence is now ruined, and I find myself riding insanely slowly on the section that I had the incident. Please help, because I've turned into an awful rider just because of an awful crash.
Of an almost crash.
An almost crash. So it was like a moment of like realisation of how bad something could have gone wrong. It was a mistake. Yeah, I guess.
Get away with it.
Yeah. What do you think, Neil? How'd you get your confidence back from a moment like that?
Well, you're asking the right man. Don't know. Just ride your bike more is always my answer for confidence. Is ride your bike more. Yeah. I mean, there's ways to do it, practicing skills, so maybe you could try and identify why you almost crashed. It could be bike, it could be maybe your tyre was a bit soft, it could be a whole load of things. So go through a bit of a checklist, check your bike over, check your skills, and then just ride a bit more.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. I'd try and identify what the problem was and then go back to the beginning a little bit and try and learn that thing or change the setup on the bike, like Neil said. And that could be the difference, and you start to understand why you made the mistake.
But don't stress it too much either. You can spend your whole life looking at why it almost happened, and you get too stressed about it.
Yeah.
We've done a video about it, so check this out.
Yeah.
Is a challenge looming in your riding career, like taking the plunge to enter your first race? Or what about that riding adventure you've always dreamed of? Maybe you've had a big crash and now you need to bounce back. Well, this video is going to give you the tools to build that confidence, to make things happen. It's rammed with advice and insights to help you make the things you're dreaming of a reality.
That guy knows his stuff.
Yeah, he does. Right, Rick Absalon says, is it worth getting insurance if you're self-employed to protect yourself in case of injury?
Yes, simple answer. It definitely is.
I didn't used to have it.
Now, I know Blake used to do this, and I've looked into it a little bit. There's lots of places you can get it, actual insurance that covers you for mountain bike riding specifically, but also will help you if you were injured and you miss days of work and things like that. You can come up with a policy that really works for you. So it's definitely worth doing, because I know it worked for Blake quite a few times. He'd have an injury when we were working on the same touring sports tour, and you know, you have an injury and suddenly you can't ride on the show for like 5 weeks.
Not getting paid.
And you're not earning. So he had this cover that would literally understand what his job was. So I'd say, yes, worth doing, because for Blake it definitely worked out. And I'm sure for someone like me who used to crash a lot, it would have worked out for me too. If
I reckon I could have made some money last couple of years.
Yeah, I'd say it's a good idea. I really would. What about Callum McLaughlin, who's saying, I'm looking at buying a full face helmet, but I'm short-sighted and need to wear glasses. I imagine this would become an issue when trying to wear goggles. I'm thinking about contacts, but I'm not sure how they feel when he's riding. What would you recommend?
I know lots of people short-sighted ride. Some people ride with glasses inside their goggles.
Yeah,
you can
I've
get
seen that.
goggles
I've done that.
that will fit. I know Scott used to make them, definitely. I'm sure other brands do as well. I think it looks a bit weird, but it doesn't really matter what it looks like.
No.
Can you get prescription lenses for goggles?
You can, yes. Yeah, I also looked into this a little bit. There's quite a few different ways to do it. Special goggles specifically designed for a prescription lens, or you can get prescription lenses to fit existing kind of like recognised goggle brands. So you can do it. Contacts though is probably the easiest solution if you're comfortable wearing them, because
just gotta,
you just kind of you've got to watch out for grit and things
that's
like that.
What I would say. I know people that ride with them and they have to wear glasses or goggles the whole time, so if you get something right, it can be a bit of a problem.
Yeah, but it can be done, so no excuses. Full face helmet and get yourself some goggles.
Dan Atherton got a lot faster when he started wearing contact lenses, because you can see where he's going.
He was already pretty fast.
Mr. Cow has got a 2018 Canyon Spectral with 148 back and 150 in front, but I saw the 2019 model's got 10mm more front and rear. Yes, I've got one of those, 150, 160. I know I can extend the fork with a new air piston, but can the same be done for the rear, like shortening the shock sleeve or something for the 5mm extra stroke?
Wow, is the world even the same way up that it was before you started reading that? I'm lost.
Yes, you can. The only difference this bike is the stroke length on the shock, so you can talk to your friendly suspension centre and I'm sure they can change this for you.
Thank God you knew the answer to that one.
Back in the day, I used to find my Santa Cruz V10 had too much travel for me, so I ran the same eye-to-eye shock with a shorter stroke length.
Yeah, nice.
So that we had less travel.
Hey, can I just ask you, is the Santa Cruz V10 as cool to ride as it looks?
I never used to like mine very much.
Neil, you do like breaking hearts.
That was a long time ago though. They look better now, but I didn't used to like mine. It didn't suit me, but I couldn't say it because Rennie, Steve, Pete, Minnar were all winning on it, but I couldn't
make it on it. Never mind, let's move on. Chris Wood said, I'm 5 foot 9.5 inch. The half's important.
That's about the same for me.
And looking for a new bike. Really like the Nuke Proof Mega 275.
Yeah.
But don't know whether to go medium or large. My current bike is a large 2014 Mega TR. Reaches 441mm on the current bike and 435 and 470 on the newer bikes.
Yeah.
Seat angle is 73 on my current bike, 75.5 on the new bikes. Any suggestion on what size?
Wow, I would say this goes down to a preference. So I'm almost exactly the same height. I'm 5'10" probably. I like a small-ish bike, so I ride the medium Nukeproof Mega.
Yes.
I like a 440-ish reach, but for some people that's too small. They prefer a longer bike. So, do you like a longer bike? Go for a large. Just want to make sure that you can get the seat post drop in, so it's not too tall for you. So you potentially might have to go down on the travel on a drop post.
Good points there, good points. I wouldn't have thought of that actually.
I've never ridden a large, but yeah, I like my medium.
Yeah, and I tell you what, if you're a fan of the Nukeproof, why don't we take a look at the old versus new mega video?
What the hell have you brought to the trails? Did you rob the museum?
Like, this is a 2012 Nukeproof Mega, the original.
Next one is from Will B, and he says, "Hi guys, what would I have to do to be a mountain bike journalist like you when I'm older?" Well, I tell you what, if there's one thing us two aren't. I know some people in the building that are mountain bike journalists, and I'm not one of them.
Andrew
they're bright.
Although we are really, but we don't feel like it.
It's strange actually, because there's lots of routes into this, because you basically just need to really love the sport. That's all you need to do, because Doddy's a great example. We're both, myself, and I guess I put you similar to me, Neil, that we're both like huge enthusiasts of the riding. Doddy absolutely loves the tech. He absolutely he lives for it. So it's easy for him to talk about it.
Yep.
Because he just can't stop himself. I'm the same about kind of like the vibe of riding and the places. I can't help myself, and the people. And you're kind of right in the middle, the racer and I mean,
we've got into it from the riding side. Doddy, I remember back in the day, him coming on his very first magazine shoot, and he sort of forced his way into the door of the big British magazine at the time, just by being super enthusiastic and sending the messages, emails, just being really proactive about doing it. So anyone can do it. You just got to sort of be really enthusiastic and find your gateway of getting in.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's one of those industries that you've just got to let people know that you really love it. And if you keep telling them, they will go, let's give this guy a chance, let's try it out. I mean, but just love the sport, and that comes through. Show them. And I think, does that mean I can now say, because they answer that question, that I'm like a journalist now?
Yeah.
Sick. Martin the journalist.
Right, next question. Zombie
plants.
plants.
Something in a minute.
Go on then. Is it worth buying it's from Zombie Plant. Is it worth buying a full suspension bike for your first bike if you start as an adult?
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, you definitely got me. But I wouldn't say it's a bad idea to buy a hardtail, because they're super fun.
They are great way to learn.
Fun,
cheaper probably way of getting into mountain biking, and then maybe deciding you want a full suspension bike after. A lot of people don't. They stay on hardtails. Just
to quiz you, is there any utility in starting to understand suspension by getting a hardtail front suspension bike? So you start to understand suspension before you've got it on both ends and you don't really know what's going on.
I always used to say that, but now I've mellowed a bit. I think if you get a good bike now, it's going to be great. So you don't you're not really suffering for jumping straight on a full suspension bike.
Do you think it's true that there's actually not many terrible bikes out there these days?
Yeah. I think if you go to a bike shop, you're going to struggle to get a bad bike. If you go on to a catalogue shop or online and just buy anything, or eBay, you're sure you can buy some terrible bikes there.
Next up, we have got Rockers, who says, I'm 20 stone. I have an XC bike. Am I too heavy? Starting to enjoy and want to hit some proper trails, but is 20 stone too much?
It's pretty big. Tell you what, some bikes do have weight limits and some components have weight limits. So I did look on the Canyon website, there's no information there, but I asked Doddy, he knows everything, and he says that some things, so like something like a carbon bar, I would go and check on their website, on their brand's website. So I would definitely check, because there are some weight limits. I know see it more on e-bikes actually. They give you a total limit, so the bike and the rider combined. Mountain bikes do, but they're not quite as easy to find. So you have to get in touch with the manufacturer.
Yeah, see, my answer would be slightly different. Am I allowed to put that one out there?
Go on.
I would say you're 20 stone, you want to hit some hard, proper trails, do it. Like, go for it. I think you'll probably be fine. If not, make sure you're running a camera so we get footage of that. And if you really go for it, you won't be 20 stone for very long.
True.
And that's how I go about it. But I'm not necessarily the right answer on this one. Go with this guy. Right, time for some correct me if I'm wrongs, which I really like taking a look at. If you've got anything you would like to be judged on, judged is a hard word. Yeah, we can take a look at it. If you send us a video into our GMBN uploader, there's a correct me if I'm wrong section. Put it in there, we'll take a look, and then maybe you'll be on the show next week, and we'll be giving you a few hints and tips of what to do better.
Yeah,
could work.
Some advice. We've got some good videos this week, actually.
Yeah. And this guy's a trained coach. That's actually what he used to do after he wasn't racing. So that's like
do it for a living. In fact, mental.
People paid this guy to hear what he had to say. What more could you ask for? Right, who have we got first?
John is riding his Orange Crush. Is that an REM song, Orange Crush?
It should be.
Right, he is starting to ride gap jumps. How could I do this better?
Right, let's have a look.
Kind of a sketchy run into this. I'll watch this video.
Ooh, yeah, it has got a little bobble before.
Bit of a lumpy bump. I would say go steady because you're. See how like the bike's quite level there. So actually, you're casing it a little bit with the back wheel, but the front wheel is landing flat, and that's a big old drop to flat.
Yeah.
So that can cause some issues. Second one I said was a little bit worse.
Second one
because of the way in.
Third go.
Well, that was the second one. Yeah. So on the way in, you were trying to pedal over a bump, and that messed you up. Yeah. Third one is better.
Yeah. Here we go.
Smoother run in.
Yeah.
Decent.
And do you know what I think's the biggest difference in there that I think's worth noting is on that third run, you're not trying to pedal through those pre-jumps.
Yeah.
You're letting the bike roll through them. I've just been watching a video actually that we've got coming out soon of one of the top downhillers in the world, and I spoke to Tom Grundy who filmed it, and he said it was very frustrating watching him because the guy never pedals.
Yeah.
And he said it just looks like he's going slow all the time, but he clearly isn't going slow, but it's because he just doesn't pedal.
It's the fresh Prince of Big Air.
Yes, yes, but that's coming up. I'm not going to talk about it anymore because I don't want to ruin the surprise. But yeah. Right, next up, we have got another, correct me if I'm wrong, we've got a couple this week, from Simone, who's riding in Bike Park, Wales. Great place to ride. He's on his Meta 4.2. And basically, he's trying to transition from blue routes into reds, Neil.
Yep.
And that means he's going to be tackling some bigger jumps, some more challenging things. He looks like he's doing all right, actually. Here he comes. Rolling down through the trail, hitting his first big jump.
Nice.
Pretty good shape. He lands that into that berm. Nice.
I was going to say, it's almost a bit of a hit that. You have to turn spot on, I reckon, like, ready to ride reds, definitely.
What would you say is a good bit of advice if you're thinking about that? You feel like you want to take on those, you've got a bit of fear of that next level of trail. How do you do it? How do you start to like work out, should I drop in?
Eventually you've got to press the send button and do it, but some people do it too early and that's when you get into problems. But Simone, it looks super confident there, really nice and smooth. Like I say, doing that hip, so that shows me that he's not stressing about jumping that jump too much because he's looking ahead. So yeah, make sure you're comfortable and then press send button.
Fabulous. Yeah, don't miss out on the chance to send us some of your correct me if I'm wrongs. Remember that, GMBN uploader. If you've got any questions for us for next week's show, then put them in the comment section down below.
Best place for it.
Yeah, there's so many things we want to talk to you guys about, so let us know what you want to hear.
Want to see any videos? Click over here for the Patagonia Epic Ride. Me and Blake riding around, having a great time. Yeah, we've got Blake's vlog just here where he was out on that trip, having a great time. The old subscribe button, that's there for a reason. Don't miss out on the chance and give us a thumbs. See you next time.